Alright guys, like every week I did get a chance to stop at a few Goodwills. The week started out pretty good. They had a lot of PlayStation games this week, in these jewel cases obviously in the CD section. I'm telling you, you guys have got to check the CD section if you're looking for PS1 games. 90% of the time that's where they're going to be. Did see a couple old consoles laying around, obviously, like this PlayStation 1 here. I always see these damn things at Goodwill, so if I ever need a spare one, it'd be a good place to find them. Just don't need one right now. It was only $6, so, you know, not a bad deal. No cords, who knows if it works, but $6 I would take a chance if I was looking for one. But yeah, week started out good. Later in the week, I find that when you're going to thrift stores and Goodwills, the best time to get these half-decent games, when you're going to find them, is going to be earlier in the week. We'll go over what I got, though, further on in the video. You guys stay tuned. What's up, guys, and welcome to this week's game hunting and pickups video. As you saw in the beginning of the video, I did get out. I got to some Goodwills this week. There were some pretty good finds early on in the week. As of today, Friday, I checked like 4 Goodwills today, a Savers. Stayed away from the retail stores this week, but there was nothing really to find this Friday, as it usually goes towards the end of the week, as I said. So let's first start off. I'll show you some of the common ones that I got. Well, really not so much common ones, but, you know, random titles. And then at the end of this video, I'll show you the better ones, the ones we found earlier on in the week. So the first ones I'm going to show you, I was up in Flagstaff actually on Thursday, which is about 2.5 hours from Phoenix. Usually there's nothing up there. There's no retail stores up there. There's a couple small thrift stores. They have one Goodwill up there, but the Goodwill is one of those Goodwills where everything goes before it goes to the dump. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these things, but it's just a Goodwill where everything is just in crates and they're ready to throw the shit away. So I actually didn't go in there, but I did find 2 thrift shops that I checked out. The first one didn't have anything. They had actually, no, let me go back. They did have some stuff, but nothing I was looking for. They just had some random Xbox One titles, and I think they had some 360 titles that I was really not interested in, and of course the PS2 sports titles, which are everywhere. So this leads me into the next thing. Found this other thrift store. Thrift store was literally like a hole in the wall. It was behind a warehouse, and it looked like someone's basement. So I go in there. First thing I do is look around. Right off the bat, it didn't look like they had anything. So I go through. I always look around first. I don't ask any questions first, just to see what they have. So I go walk around, nothing. They have like some small electronics, but that's about it. So I go up to the guy and I ask him, hey, do you have any old video games, Nintendo games, Sega games? And to my surprise, he goes, actually I do. I have a big box. Big light bulb goes off, okay? So he goes, it's mostly Atari, but there are some Sega games. Okay, let me take a look. There was literally about 30 Atari games in this box. I did look through them. I don't have an Atari, but I was looking for some uncommon stuff. Didn't have any uncommon stuff. Otherwise, I would have grabbed it to use it as, you know, for trading, or maybe eventually I'll get a 2600 and I would have held on to it. But I didn't have any uncommon stuff there. So it was mostly just, they were good titles. It was common stuff, but they were good common title games. So I started looking through the Sega games. Again, okay, sports titles, but I don't have any of these titles. And I'm a sports fan. You guys know this because I've said it in my previous videos. So he says he's asking $3 a pop. Okay, that's a little high, especially for sports titles. So he has 8 of them sitting there. Take a look. How about if I take all your Sega games, you go for $2 a pop? Okay, sure, no problem. So there you have it. I got 8 Sega Genesis games for $2 a piece, and I'll go ahead and go over what they are real quick. The first one is the only one that was complete in box, and this is kind of cool because I do have the second one, so now I've got both of them. Is PGA Tour Golf, and Guys, this is actually a really good game. If you've never played any of the PGA Tours, even if you're not into sports games, check them out. They're actually really good. They're pretty challenging. Courses are really good. And this one's in really good shape. It's got the booklet and everything. So, complete inbox for $2. Hey, I'm not complaining. Another one I found. This is a non-sports title. It's kind of an interesting game. I actually got a chance to play it a little bit. It's just like the card game, and that is Risk. Again, never seen it before. Pretty good title. Interesting, you know. This just like the board game. It's funny because as I was playing this, I'm like, man, this is kind of like the things you would play on an app now for your iPhone or Android, or it's just pretty cool. It's a good one to have in a collection. Now for the sports titles, actually, two of them are the same things, which is this one, and this is Sports Talk Baseball. There was two in there. I just took them both. I'll either sell the other one or trade it. NBA Basketball, Tecmo Super NBA Basketball. Not a bad game. Actually played it a little bit. Pretty good basketball game. World Series Baseball. We got what's one of the ones? All right, that's the other double. NFL Football 94. And then Joe Montana football. So overall, not a bad score on that. Yeah, wasn't expecting sports titles, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And again, I like sports titles, so I'm not complaining. Sometimes I'd much rather throw a quick sports title in and just, hit the sticks for 20 minutes while I'm waiting for dinner to be done, and I can't sit down and get into something real long. So sports games are perfect for times like that. So now I'm going to get into the better games that I found. Only one is a sports title, but I really like this series, and I've never played it on the 64. I found this at Goodwill, and when I saw this, I was kind of surprised because I almost never find cartridge games at Goodwill, and that is NFL Blitz for the Nintendo 64.
Alright guys, so I've actually never played this on the 64. That's one of the reasons why I got it on here. Now if you're not familiar with the Blitz series, it's more of an arcade style football game. They also did another series called NHL Hits, which was also really good. I played the ones on the PlayStation, GameCube, and PS2, but this is my first time playing it on 64. And for $3, why not give it a shot? I was always kind of a fan of the 64 graphics. Always a little bit more cartoony. That always kind of intrigued me. But overall, I think it was a decent find. I don't always find cartridge games at Goodwill. So when I do, if they're remotely half decent or I'm just kind of curious, I'll go ahead and pick them up.
Alright guys, so this next one is the next two are PlayStation games. The first one I've never played before, and it looked really good. First thing I always do when I find these PlayStation games is I do make sure I check the bottom of the disc, because I'll give you an example. Today I did find Metal Gear Solid, and it was only $12. Case was in great shape, booklet was in great shape, bottom of the disc looked like it had been ran across a concrete floor. So unfortunately I didn't pick it up, but this one was in good shape, and I've never played it before, and this is a Bug's Life for the PlayStation 1.
So like NFL Blitz for the 64, I've never played a Bug's Life either. And again, it was only $2.99, so just from what I know about Disney games in the past, they've been pretty good. Maybe not so much anymore, but I know definitely in the early 90s with the Genesis, and then this area as well. I believe they were pretty good, so I figured I'd give it a shot. It's based on the Disney Pixar film, obviously, and it was released in '98. The game's storyline is very similar to the movie with a few changes. And after completing certain levels, you can unlock clips from the movie. Interesting enough, there was one that was supposed to come out for the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast that were canceled and just never made it. But again, decent find. It wasn't a sports title, so I was kind of happy about that. And we'll add it to the collection.
Well, the next title is a racing title. and it's a pretty good game. I actually really like. I really enjoyed the racing titles for the PlayStation. I thought they were all great, and this one was kind of was nice to find. And this is Test Drive 5.
Alright guys, so the last relevant PlayStation 1 game that I got that wasn't a sports title was Test Drive 5, the Greatest Hits Edition. Obviously no difference in the game, just difference in the jewel casing that it's in. It was released in 1998 for the PlayStation. It actually came out on Microsoft Windows as well. Now, it is a racing video game, obviously. And the game focuses mainly on racing on a variety of courses around the world. Cops, traffic, and weather will affect each race when you're playing the game. There's a bunch of different secret cars included in the game. There are a bunch of cheat codes. One thing that was popular about this game was there were crashes in it, unlike Gran Turismo. And I believe it did show damage on the cars as well. But there are crashes, you do have cops. There's a lot of things you can't do in Gran Turismo that you can do in this one, and it made it pretty popular. Plus the graphics for this game were pretty good for the PlayStation. The background graphics were, definitely on the higher end. Bunch of different cars you can select through, not only makes and models, but different years of the vehicles as well. I'm a big racing fan, so this is going to be a fun one to have in the collection.
Now, the nice thing about the PlayStation games is they were only $1.99 each, and I think on one of them there was like a different colored sticker, so I got it for like half price or whatever. So those were really good. Again, guys, I can't stress anymore, when you go into Goodwills, make sure you're looking through the CDs. Both of those PlayStation games were in with the CDs. They did have a few other ones. They had if you look earlier in the video when you were watching it, they had a Game Day 98, I think, and it wasn't in good shape, so I just left it there. But that's it for the pickups this week, guys. Let me know what you guys found. How'd you guys do? How'd you make out? Again, I stayed away from the retail stores this week. I just didn't feel like paying retail prices, and sometimes it's fun just to stick to the thrift store and really kind of just see what you find out there. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to comment below, like the video, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next video.